Hey guys, it's Mr. Mason. I'm doing our Bible study for this week, and today's lesson is about clothing the people in need. So our story today is about Jesus healing a sick man and what he does after that, and kind of the big importance behind it and how we can learn from that today. So our story comes out of chapter 5 of Mark. And I'm actually just going to talk through it. I don't think I'm going to read off the page today. But basically, there's a man in a town who is sick. And the people in the town are kind of scared of him because his sickness causes him to talk to himself. And so they don't really like him in the streets of their town, so they actually send him outside the walls of their city. And that's where he has to live, in the rain, sleet, snow, and those brutal winds. When it's hot, he doesn't have anywhere to go, and so this man is just kind of living outside, and right outside this city. And Jesus is coming to this city to preach. And when Jesus and his disciples, when their boat lands on the docks, Jesus immediately sees this man, and he's pretty easy to see because all of his clothes are tattered and torn from living outside for however many years he'd been out there. And so Jesus sees this man, the disciples see him, and he's kind of scary looking. He's talking to Jesus in these strange voices. He's talking to himself. And again, his clothes are just all kinds of, there's holes in them. I mean, his shirt is barely even a shirt. He might have one shoe on. And so Jesus looks at this man and sees that he's suffering from this sickness. And so Jesus heals him. He casts the sickness out of this man, and he sees the person underneath the sickness. Now Jesus saw the person underneath before he healed him, but he helped the man because that's the help that the man asked for. And then Jesus went what we call going the extra mile and clothed this man, gives him new clothes to wear because his are all, they've got holes in them, they're dirty, they're stained. And when the people come out of the town to see what Jesus has done, they don't recognize the man because they're used to seeing him in those dirty clothes that are falling apart. And they see him and he's not talking to himself, he's not scary anymore, and it actually kind of scares the people. But this man now has dignity, and he has some higher self-esteem, because when he looks in the mirror, he doesn't see that scary man that the people sent out of the city. He sees a normal guy, just like you and me. And so what Jesus does is incredible, not only because he heals his sickness, but he also gives the man some dignity. Now, dignity is kind of a big word. We can think of it as respect, or our self-esteem, how we feel about ourselves. And to treat someone else with dignity is to treat them as if, they have a high self-esteem, if you have a high esteem of them. And so that's what this man receives from Jesus, is dignity, when the rest of the town doesn't give him that. And so I really like this story because I think it shows us what we can do in our own lives. I've got way too many shirts. I get shirts given to me as gifts, or I go out and buy them and I wear them once, or I just put them in my closet and they stay there for a bit. Or I have my favorite shirts that I wear all the time. And I think a lot of us are like that. If y'all think about maybe your favorite shoes or your favorite shirt that when you wear it you think I'm looking pretty good. And so, maybe those were the clothes that this man was wearing, but after living outside for so long, his clothes, they don't look good anymore, and they don't make him feel good. And so Jesus gives him clothes that make him feel good. And so what I've started doing in my closet, that maybe y'all can do in your closets, in your drawers, wherever you keep your clothes, is I've turned them all facing one direction. And once I wear a shirt and I wash it, I put it back on the hanger, I flip it around. And then in a couple months, I go in my closet and I look, and all the clothes that are still facing that original direction, I put those in a sack so I can give them away, because if I haven't worn them in a couple months, I'm probably not going to wear them again. I've got my shirts that I really like, that, you know, make me feel good. They raise my self-esteem. They give me some dignity. But those clothes that I don't wear as much, that are still good clothes, I give away, because I think that it gives people dignity who need those clothes, right? Just like our man who lives outside. Jesus took care of him, and then he gave him a gift of, you know, a higher self-esteem and more dignity. So that's kind of my challenge to y'all this week, out of our Bible lesson. You know, figure out a system to where maybe the clothes you don't wear as much, you know, you can find a way to give them to someone else, to give them some dignity or some self-esteem, just like Jesus did to the man in our story. I hope everybody is doing well. Hope you're staying safe and healthy, and I hope you're having fun and all this sunshine that we've been having lately. I can't wait to see y'all again.